Today is the day. It's not my birthday, not a special holiday, but it's the day that I'm gonna start making the waffle lamp. I have this idea to make a lamp made out of real waffles. And in the previous video, I did a bunch of very professional prototyping, which consisted of a 10-second, really rough sketch, testing out the basic shape and function of the idea, building a little base to hold the light bulb, and I made some butter too, out of clay. That brings us to right now, and I'm pretty excited. Let's get into it. Toasted to perfection. Okay, now that I got my waffles, I've got to cut out the inside so the waffle stack becomes hollow and then the light can shine through. So they're all cut up except for the top one, which is still a nice, beautiful, full waffle. And then it's hollow on the inside. And now the next step is to coat it all in resin. I recently made a bread lamp using a real croissant and baguette. So I think doing the same resin process should work. The important key word here is I think. Well, that's 2 words, but you get what I mean. I've never done this before. I don't know if anyone's ever done this before, because why would they? I'm using this art resin, and it's actually really simple to use. Just add equal parts of the 2 liquids, then you mix them together for like 5 minutes, and that's it. It eventually hardens into a really solid plastic. And this is where the messy part, but arguably the most fun part, begins. The rough plan is I'm gonna start on the bottom and work my way up. And we want to make sure that it's fully covered because the resin is what's going to make it airtight, and then that way it won't get moldy or funky or anything. Okay, our bottom one is done, and now I think for the rest of them, I'm just going to dunk them in, give them a little swim, and then place them on. I don't know why I didn't roll up my sleeves. This is getting in the danger zone. Oh no. And now for the top of the stack. Yes. There we go. That's the basic shape. Now I'll probably just fast forward through this next part because you'll see why. Resin takes a full 24 hours to dry, and since I needed to do multiple coats of it, the next day I was back at it adding more. And the next day I repeated the process, adding another coat of resin. And guess what? That following day, yep, more resin. And again, but this time I ran out of gloves, which is not a recommended technique. Don't do this. It was so sticky. That probably went by so quick for you, but in reality, that just turned into like a week-long process for me. But it's gonna be worth it. Check this out. Here we have the fully resin-sealed waffle stack. It's fully hardened up now. Oh, I'm so happy with how it's looking. And then with the base part, it should fit perfectly together. Yes. Look at that. It's glorious. I'm so close to being done the lamp, and everything so far has been going pretty great, but I just realized we have a problem. So I made these little pieces of butter out of clay, but I'm just now realizing that it's gonna block the light from shining through all the way because they're not translucent at all. Dang it. But this is what it's all about. Problem solving, figuring it out as you go with any creative project. You just gotta roll with the punches, and in this case, that punch is butter, right to the face. I gotta come up with a solution. I wonder if like there's translucent clay or some sort of material that can be in the same form but then let the light shine through. Is that a thing? I don't know. So I called up someone who might know and have the answers I was searching for. My local art store.
Good afternoon, Waffle Art Supplies.
Hey there, I just had a quick question. Do you guys have any sort of translucent clay? Is that a thing?
Yes, it is. It's Sculpey, it's polymer clay, so it has to be baked or it won't harden.
Okay.
But yeah.
And light would shine through that? Like it's...
I think so.
And that was all I needed to hear. That hopeful, I think so, was the motivation I needed.
Right here.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. Translucent. Local art supply store for the win. I hope this works. Time to make the butter pieces version 2.0. I started by flattening out the clay. Then I cut out the little pieces and formed them into boxes, so hopefully the light would shine through. Next, I baked them in the oven at a low temp. And they're nice and cooked. Okay, I gotta do a little test here. Let's turn out the lights. Oh, dang. Look at it. Oh, it's glowing so nice. Look, this was the old one for reference. Like it just blacks it out, and then now look. Ooh! Just look at that beautiful buttery glow. Oh, I'm pumped up right now. Translucent clay is a thing, and it makes for great butter. We have one final step to go, and it's the one I've been looking forward to this whole time. The missing ingredient for our waffles is obviously the syrup. But, sorry, this isn't actually, we can't use the delicious edible kind. We're back with more resin. It's the final round. And I want the resin to be a bit thicker than usual for that syrup consistency. And I found this. It's called Nice and Thick. And adequately named, it's a resin thickener. So, hopefully this does the trick. It's a powder. Whoa, it's like super fine. It's like icing sugar texture. So the instructions say you just add it right into your resin. And then you just start mixing it. I think it needs more. Let's just go for it here. Whoa, a little bit more. Okay, I think that should do it. I let it sit for like 10 minutes. And now check it out. It's so nice and thick now. Wow, I get it. I get it why it's called that. As advertised. Next, we gotta make it look more like actual syrup. So I got these resin dyes, and I think this one will be the perfect one. Just a little sploosh. What the heck? It looks like legit syrup now. That's crazy. Okay, it's time. The moment of truth. Whoa, my heart is beating quick right now. I'm not gonna lie, because I only get one shot at this pour. And once the resin, I can't even speak. Once the resin starts to cure, then that's it. So, whew. Okay, here we go. The syrup pour. Do I start on the top or do I do the sides? I'm just gonna go for it. Knowing that I could mess up a week's worth of work if I wasn't careful, I just started pouring on that resin syrup. I added the drips at the top part and just let gravity do its thing and pull them down. My confidence levels were skyrocketing. Things were going great, but then I realized I forgot about the base part. But don't worry, it was okay. I added some drips to it, and I think that's it. That's all the syrup I'm gonna add. That was fun. That was like an adrenaline rush, but also very satisfying to see the drips and, oh. Okay, let's just cut to it being fully dried so we can do the big reveal. It's time. Here's how it looks. All hardened up and time to plug it in. Oh my goodness. It's better than I could have ever dreamed. Like, I know I had 3 coffees today and I'm already hyped, but I gotta bring you in closer. Look at the bottom. It's just all hardened up, so it looks like the syrup spilled over. And that glow, come on. Here's how it looks on the shelf, and I have a little surprise for you. For those people that hate the look of cords and are like, oh, what if the power goes out? Boom! Look at that. I stuck some LEDs on the inside, so that's right. Now it's fully portable. Oh, I'm so happy that this idea is finally out of my head. I can sleep easy now. And hopefully this can be a reminder that no matter how wacky of an idea you may have, that you owe it to yourself to just pursue it and try.